the attorney and the accountant are going to represent the estate. Now, we have two kinds of estates here conceivably. We have a mother who has her own property, and we have a father who has his property, right? And who do you suppose Linda wants to leave her property to? And if all the property is in one family business, how is that going to play out in this time bomb scenario? Do we want to wait until that happens and then make that determination? And if we do, what are the chances of the banker being happy when something blows up? And more importantly, what are the chances of the family being happy when something blows up? What if there's a stroke? What if the father has a stroke? What if the daughter, the firstborn daughter, dies? And in this case, all of these children have interest in the family business in the form of corporate or partnership, call it whatever you want, but they all have a minority interest. What's going to happen to their interests when and if they get a divorce or there's a death? So in an effort to answer some of those questions, and maybe direct questions from another point of view, I would like to take about 3 or 4 minutes to show you some scenarios that I've experienced. And we're going to put them in the video. And can we get the light? Can we get the lights down a little bit?
Please turn around.
Just a bit. And can we just turn that off,
yeah,
Fred?
you can the other ones.
Okay, these are 5 short scenarios of other issues that you can look at, and let's just see how they fit with what we're talking about here. Can you all see it from there? If you're comfortable, sit down or whatever, and we'll rejoin that, or sit out here in the front.
My father never gave me anything. I had to work hard to get where I am today. I built my business from the ground up, and I'm proud of what I've done. And now my son thinks he knows more than I do. Huh.
My father, so proud of his lifetime achievements, always letting me know that his father never gave him anything, and how lucky I am. Lucky. Right.
I always dreamed of having my only son continue my business after I've gone. But I don't think he's got what it takes. He's never had to work for anything in his life.
I've got ideas for the business, but unless they're my father's ideas, they're bad ideas. But I know they're good ones. It'd sure be great if I could use some of my own ideas.
All my hard work. Sometimes I think I should sell out rather than let my son destroy everything after I've gone.
My dad, I really love him, but he knows so little about his own children. He's made arrangements for us to operate his business after he dies. Funny thing is, none of us want it. But how do I tell him that we'd rather just sell his business and divide the money? No, it would hurt him too much. I feel bad about it. I just wish we could talk this all out. But not with my dad, forget it. He never talks about these kinds of things.
Ever since I was a child, I loved working on my daddy's cattle ranch. As far back as I can remember, he promised that someday this whole spread would be mine. We were a pretty big family. There were 6 of us kids. But my brothers and sisters, they went off and they did their thing. But I stayed here and I worked on the ranch. My son, Hank, he loved this ranch as much as my daddy and I did. We would work together and really have a ball, really enjoyed ourselves. And Dad would say to me that he was going to leave the ranch to me so that someday I could leave the ranch to my son. Oh, my boy's eyes, they really lit up on that, just as mine did when I was a kid. Well, you can imagine my surprise when my dad died and I discovered he'd left no will. The ranch went to my mom, but she knew my dad's wishes. So my son and I, we continued working here, took care of her, and she got sick a little bit later. And then, when she passed away, I was horrified to find out that she had gone against Dad's wishes and divided the ranch up equally among the 6 of us kids. All my life's work, 1/6 of it was mine, And I had nothing to leave my son. The worst part of it is, there was nothing, no real security for my wife and me when I decided to retire.
My husband was a wonderful man. I really miss him a lot. He was so concerned about being fair to all 5 of our children, though he knew that only 2 of them were interested in operating the farm after he passed on. He learned about a company called Family Business Consultants. I remember we all met with them and explained to them our desire to keep the farm intact for our 2 sons while being fair to the other children, too. Family Business Consultants analyzed our personal business and financial data and came up with some really great suggestions. My husband is gone now, but he must know that the plans we've made all together have worked out very well.
Since 1969, Family Business Consultants has listened to the experiences of hundreds.
Have the lights up now, please. For those of you who want to see the conclusion of that video another time, we have some copies of the video that are available, and they'll be available at our booth if you want to come over and pick them up. Did any of you see any of those scenarios? Is this unreal? Is this all California hype, or is this real? Is this real? You're shaking your head, nodding your head. I think it's real. At least that's been my experience. And to the degree that this family represents one or several of those scenarios, and I suspect in this audience we have a number of people that fit that description. What I'd like Don to do now is bring our families up again and talk about some of these issues that were raised by the video, and the issues that I would like Don to talk to you about as it relates to this family is this issue of alcohol and drugs and how it plays an impact on the family, and also the issue of unwillingness to change.
Yeah. I wonder if we could get the father and the stepmother, if we could get part of the sculpt up again. Could you send up, and the second-born daughter in the middle, and the first-born daughter behind, and maybe the son behind. Yeah, and with your hands on maybe the 2 of them, and in the middle. Well, in this family, this whole business of unwillingness to change, I believe that most unwillingness to change has to do with resistance to trying new things that are foreign to us. Again, I don't know about you, but the most difficult thing for me to do is to try some new behavior and to try some new things. In this family, the father, when I had an evening and then the whole next day with this family, and the father really wanted to look at the relationships, but he basically said to me, you know, I'd like our motor fixed, but don't lift up the hood. He was really a very private man, as many people are. And so he really didn't want to examine some things. He was very reluctant to talk about what was happening between the daughter and and her husband.